think we're broadcasting. Look at this. Whoop, whoop. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of ATL on Fire, the podcast where we talk all things Atlanta United football and all things soccer. Especially tonight, we're going to talk a little U.S. men's national team. We are going to talk about the last 3 games, a 3-game recap, which includes 2 more losses after our season opener loss. But finally, a win that I got to go watch on Saturday. So we're going to talk about all. Thank you, Dave and Carmen, for joining. How is everybody doing this evening? Good.
Yeah. It's my son's 21st
Tyson,
birthday.
Happy
today.
birthday.
I know. I look too young to have a 21-year-old.
Did you do some whiskey and Guinness shots?
I've been trying to force alcohol down this child's throat like all day, but he wants no part of it. So I've given up.
He should come over and hang with me during St. Patty's Day.
Did you celebrate?
Now that explains
of course. Like, I mean, it's like
that's your holiday. So how did you celebrate?
Like, it's like it comes out of my blood. Like I get like a little leprechaun. I don't know.
You are
so
a little
easy.
leprechaun.
Yeah. Like, Guinness. I went to the store. I bought a bunch of Guinness.
For strength.
And I drank it all the Guinness.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, a little whiskey shot, and then you drop it in there, and then is I guess not PC anymore to say Irish car bomb, but that's what it's called.
Good. That's what it used to be.
Do they have another name?
Until they stop blowing up cars, I mean, it's an Irish car bomb as far as I'm concerned.
In Northern Ireland, the troubles are less now.
Yes.
Mikey Dobbs.
Yes, the IRA
they've reconciled.
A different, yes. It's good. The Protestants and
there's troubles
Catholics.
in other parts of the world now, and so they don't have any time for troubles there.
Yeah.
Look at y'all with the history and knowledge. Irish fireworks.
Did you know that St. Patrick's Day original color was blue, not green? I don't know how I know this.
That's amazing.
Interesting.
Why did it change to green?
And he wasn't born in Ireland, St. Patrick, and he wasn't actually a saint. There's a lot of weird things.
Not surprising the Irish got that one wrong.
All right, we're going to get back to soccer here.
We were drinking all that Guinness, and we're just like, that
And
guy's
as we talk
insane.
about spirits and good beer, Wild Heaven, which we did our opening podcast at Wild Heaven, Toco Hills, and the Fox Brothers. Dave, you did your whole East predictions from both the teams, and I'm curious to see if you have any major shifts. Seeing that Orlando's coach just stepped down, and there's some data coming in. Some data coming in, but go to Wild Heaven. The sun's about to come back out here in Atlanta. It was been cold the last couple of days, but Wild Heaven, particularly for happy hour, fantastic here in Avondale Estates, but also on the west side, and of course the Toco Hills Fox Brother location where you can get some of that barbecue. Do it. Mm-hmm. And also, while you're there, enjoy a glass of Wolf Mountain Vineyard wine. They've got award-winning wines that have just come out. I know Brandon was talking about that on his Facebook. There's a bunch of awards that they won. I should know what they are.
Really?
Go on the website, check it out.
Okay. Congratulations, Wolf Mountain.
Yeah, Wolf Mountain. They unbelievable wine for Georgia. And if you haven't tasted Georgia wine and you have some sort of preconception of what it tastes like, take your family up to Dahlonega, enjoy one of these weekends at a beautiful vineyard up there, and say hello to Brendan.
Yeah, it will change your mind about Georgia wine.
It will.
For sure.
And Dave, you were telling me that your latest bottling of your own little hobby wine is pretty fantastic.
That's correct. We have a collaboration with Brandon now, and he gave us some things to blend with. So we have 4 different blends that just went in the bottle about a month ago, and will be ready to drink in another year, a little less than a year.
Nice.
Okay. So wait, do we have anything new coming up, like former harvests coming up?
Yes, we have one that's been in the bottle that's ready to drink now. Okay. It's always a cycle thing.
Okay. All right. I'm just asking, when am I going to be able to drink my next
But this
bottle?
one is... we figured out 2 things. One, we got some blend from them, which is great. And we figured out that the Norton blends beautifully with the Cabernet Franc, which is why I brought you a Cabernet Franc. So this
delicious.
is a Lang & Reed. This is a Napa Valley, California Cabernet Franc. Very unusual. What do you think?
It's really nice.
It is good. Do I taste notes of pepper?
Sure.
All right. That's all I got.
No, I mean...
good.
you definitely have it right. It's definitely spicy. I think pepper is the right word.
So the Cabernet Franc tends to be a little earthier, a little more terroir, whatever. Yeah. And then our Norton is very fruit forward and flavorful, and so it balances and makes really nice wine.
All right.
So as far as forward, we finally took our first step forward with a win after the worst Atlanta United start ever with 3 losses, Dave. But that's right. Tell me how you're feeling about.
Well, I have to say, with all the doom and gloom, and for those of you out there in the podcast or listening, Mikey Dobbs was ready to throw in the towel, never do another podcast, blah, blah, blah. And I said, hold the phone. I said, don't judge until you've seen us mid-season and see where we're at mid-season. And he said, what do we have to have any reason to believe or whatever that anything's different from last year? And I said 2 words, of course, Tata Martino. And I said he's never had an extended losing in his entire career. I don't think he plans to start now. He'll figure it out, even if it involves, bringing in some new players. And already, I think some things are going in the forward direction.
Fine. I know Tata's a great coach. I thought we definitely had the players. I still think that coming out with 3 losses is not a good sign.
Sure.
With creating,
who's going to say that's a good sign?
No. And I just feel like it's going to be an uphill battle. Even having seen our win, there was some great things, but I still know there's a ton of time.
Yeah.
But my point being, like, do we land in 4th like you predicted? I don't know about that. I still am very skeptical that we could reach that level after seeing what I've seen so far.
We're going to find out.
I
think we are one player or one shift in players away from really being good.
Well, I think it's clear after even the win the other day, Hoyos is somebody we need to replace.
Yeah,
give Hibbert a chance. I don't know, but I don't think he's the solution either, personally, from what I've seen. But I as I said in our X account, that there should be a top priority is Guzan to look for kind of someone that was his caliber coming in and being a game changer.
So in the 49th minute of the win against Philadelphia, Hoyos comes completely unnecessarily for a very long ball at the top of the box and doesn't get close, but luckily nothing came of it. And it's like won a game. He's making, and this was his reputation as being a pretty excellent goalkeeper, shot stopper, but, prone to the one major gaffe a game. He's showing it.
I saw so many moments of him just making unwise decisions in the game against Philadelphia. That
I thought he's getting a little more comfortable and better, but he still has this one crazy gaffe a game that if he continues to do that, and I don't see any sign that that's going to go away.
No.
Especially since he's old. He's like 35 years old or whatever, or 36 years
5'11".
old. Like, if he was going to change it, he's 6 foot tall.
But is he?
On paper?
Usually when most dudes say they're 6 foot tall, they're like 5'10".
I think they're cheating by half an inch. I think he's 5'11" and a half.
But you can believe that. Believe that. That's cool.
I think he's a legit 6 foot. He looks to me a legit 6 foot, but I don't know.
All right.
He's not tall, but he's also not short.
That makes sense. Okay.
He's not our answer.
I don't think he's our answer either. And I said that from the very beginning. I said that goalkeeping should have been our number one priority. You asked me in the last podcast of last year, what is our number one priority? And I said goalkeeper. And then I texted you.
I did not disagree. I think that the team, when they turn around and look and say, that guy's gonna put something on the table that's going to give us that extra, which early on in Brad Guzan's days, the whole team turned around and was like, we got that guy back there. That's just such a big confidence boost. And particularly somebody who's played soccer, turning around when you have that good goalkeeper. I mean, it really does boost your confidence.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I texted you shortly after that in the offseason, and I said, Dane St. Clair is an unrestricted free agent. Why don't we get him? And then I texted you, the sky is falling, Miami got him.
So how do you want to tackle this podcast? You want to talk about the Philadelphia
We have 2
game?
games to talk about: Salt Lake City and Philadelphia. I thought only 2, but
okay, yeah, we don't have to
because we were there at the other one.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know.
That's fair.
It was terrible. So
yeah, I think we talk about the Philadelphia game.
Yeah, well, we can talk first about Salt Lake City because there's a contrast.
Okay.
Right, because that's the 2 things.
You were at the Salt Lake game.
The Salt Lake City is like the lowest of lows.
This was where Miranchuk had a brace, right?
Yes, and we lost 3-2. We finally scored, but oh my God! So this is what I wrote prior to kickoff. Okay, it's from my notes. I wrote, I really don't get the starting lineup. The midfield of Muyumba at defensive midfield, Alzate and Sanchez is just awful. Why Jacob at right back when he has been so good at defensive midfield? And seems like Tata wants to upgrade on Hernandez, but why not Edwards? But here's the big thing. I wrote, and Barikal and Mihai with no pace and no protection from Muyumba is a danger zone.
Yeah.
That was awfully prescient. Because on the opening goal, Salt Lake City gets a counter. Barikal is just watching as the forward runs right behind him, 0-1, right? And then on the third goal, right, Barikal fails to close down the attacker because he's afraid and then gets dribbled by and curled in the far post. Like, it was an awful performance from Barikal. I mean, awful. The one where he ran by him made him look like a cone. I'm like, is he even running?
So why is this from a La Liga guy that you were expecting to have kind of that level of class?
Well, I don't know. I didn't see him in La Liga, and I only saw him when he came here. I said, look, La Liga, it's a legit, it's a legit credential, but usually when you leave La Liga and you're still only 26, 27 like him, there's got to be a warning sign. But I'm like, okay, and I felt like, okay, look. It can't be any worse, right? Williams and Abraham.
That's true.
It's got to be an upgrade.
True.
But I said, I'm not wearing it now, but at the end of the year, I'm like, I need a boost of optimism. So I went and bought myself an Atlanta United jersey, and I got a Mihai because I was like, ain't no way I'm getting Barikal. I watched the 2 of them, and even though Barikal has the stronger, supposed credentials, I'm like, he did not look good to me at the end of last season, even in the only, 5 games he played or something? Yeah.
What jersey did you get? The one with the stripe?
I got the home one.
You got the home one.
Yeah, it's nice. The classic, 5-stripe.
5-stripe.
Okay.
All right, nice.
So Mihai. And then, so that one's great. And Mihai's been way better.
Yeah, Mihai still looks like he's the real deal.
Yeah, he can crunch somebody, and he reads the game, and he's not afraid. In fact, I don't know. I guess we don't have the game pulled up, but there was one moment in the second game where it just totally illustrates what we were talking about all last year, where Philadelphia was trying to clear it out of their end, and Miaz just read the danger, and about 10 yards over midfield, somewhere in that range, he just won and stepped in front and won the ball, and then we went right back on offense. And I'm like, when's the last time we saw that? One of our center backs reading it, being aggressive, stepping in front, and winning the ball.
Yeah.
Like, never.
So
maybe even never. Maybe not even our championship team. Maybe we got to go back to Parkhurst.
In this Real Salt Lake game, Jacob was at right back. He was okay. I didn't know that. I know that was the case in the Philadelphia game, but okay.
So, what was crazy is that I thought, the one bright spot was Jacob in the defensive midfield. Right. And then he moves him to right back. And I think, as I wrote here, is that he's clearly looking for an upgrade on Hernandez, who, defensively. And I think he has a lot of faith in Jacob, and he feels like he can play all over. Now, the moment prior to the Salt Lake City at the end of the previous game where he moved Jacob from center midfield back to right back in the middle of the game, he looked totally out of sorts. I mean, he looked awful in that last 10 minutes at right back. But I was like, well, maybe he's tired, and it's hard for a young kid to switch in the middle of the play. For the first time against Philadelphia, he really looked comfortable. and he played well. Okay. So, but I still think, honestly, with his traits, he looks to me a much better defensive midfielder than he does as a right back.
And clearly, Tata has that in his head in terms of the Rubik's Cube he's trying to create.
So the answer to me, and I don't know why, I think Tata's slowly trying to see it, but I don't think he has enough confidence and faith in Edwards because he wants to upgrade on Hernandez, and Edwards is an upgrade too, but he doesn't have enough faith in him, so that's why Jacob. But if Edwards can take that spot, then Jacob goes back to defensive midfield, and everything gets better.
So we also had...
That's my one thing that I think that one move that we're away from really turning the corner.
Okay. Gregerson's back.
Gregerson was a big upgrade.
Gregerson sighting. How long will we see him on the field though?
Apparently
over under Carmen.
Carmen.
You think he's gonna make it 2 full games?
I don't. He even went down in this game. Yeah. Everyone behind us was like, "And we will not see him again."
That's the last we see him. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, "That's it."
Although, I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I saw an interview with him. One of the things they're doing to try to keep him on the field, they are blood testing him for inflammation markers. Which I think is really cool as a molecular biologist.
Okay, what is
cool?
Dumb that down.
Cat's got his sexy voice on it.
Dumb that down for the us people.
So, like if your body is not recovering well and it's kind of like in a little bit of crisis, because that seems like for him, then what will happen is a lot of the cells will have like a little bit of crisis mode and they'll secrete a little bit of things. They'll put... And so there's certain inflammation, like you would get in like a cut or like if you get punched in the face, inflammation, but you get those molecules circulating in your bloodstream. So what they're doing is they're taking blood and they're testing him weekly after each game. And I think if there are any signs that his body's not recovering, that's when he's going to rest.
Stress.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is, I've never heard of that before, ever. It's using a molecular diagnosis to try to see whether he's recovering. Which I thought was cool.
I think it's cool, but it also means there must be something wrong with him. Yeah. Because they're like, dude, you're hurt all the time. So I don't know.
No, he just needs to get on some of that blood doping stuff or something, that
transfusions. It could be that the whole thing is a cover, and that's what they're doing is they're really just doping him. It's possible.
Who's the cyclist?
Mikey Dobbs,
why am I blanking
Lance on the Armstrong?
Yeah, he needs to get on the Lance Armstrong program. It evidently works.
It did work.
It did work really well.
He won like a zillion Tour de France in a row.
So did everybody else.
I was there on the final day one day when he won it. Oh my God, he's so much faster than everybody.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Now, to be fair to Lance, every single one of those MFers were doping.
Yeah,
and he just beat them anyway.
It was all
so like it wasn't. People were like, "Oh, it's so unfair." It was not unfair. They were all doping. They were all cheating, and he won.
Yeah.
The best.
So my oldest brother was a professional cyclist for a while, and yeah, he knew like there was that limit of getting to that level where that's not a path he wanted to go down that path, but yeah that's what it takes to compete.
I mean, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah, I wish that wasn't the
Wasn't
case.
you who wanted to have the all-drug Olympics?
It was not me, though. Maybe. I don't know. You never know what version of me you're talking to.
You can use any performance enhancer you want, and let's see how good people can be.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, if it's like changes to the chemistry of your body, yes. Yeah. Then there's the question of more like augmentation of like, the legs and the electronics you can put into
no stopping there. Let's just do surgeries and put in extra twitch muscles and ligaments. And
see, I think then you've got to have different categories. But
it would just be no rules.
No rules.
I like it. You have the Olympics and then the doping Olympics, and let's
exactly.
roll.
We know the AI is going to win on this one. Put the chip in, it's over. The GPT is going to win every time.
It sounds like something Trump would actually come up
with. All right, so Salt Lake City. So they scored the opening goal on a counterattack as the guy ran right by Barricall. The second goal, I guess it was sort of Mihai who didn't really close him down fast enough, although I think Muyumba was just standing and watching. But the guy, he did close him a lot and just curled a beautiful shot in the far post. Sometimes you just got to tip your hat. We scored after that. It was a cross into Miranchuk from Baez.
Yeah.
And Miranchuk finishes beautifully.
Nice one, yeah.
And then the killer. Barakal, one-on-one. The guy just abused him, right? And beat him, dribbled by him, and scored. No subs at halftime, which was a surprise.
What would you do?
Down 3-1. I would have hit the panic button. I would have brought on like at least 3 or 4 subs. I would have for sure, I would have gone to my lineup, but that's another thing. I would have gotten rid of Barakal. I would have brought in Gregerson for sure. I would have brought in Edwards and moved Jacob to defensive midfield for sure to solidify the midfield. Yep. And I would have absolutely, the guy who I just don't get, who's looked, no offense to him because the guy's, 17 years old, but Sanchez has looked completely overmatched. And all those people on Twitter who are like, Sanchez this and Sanchez that, you are nuts. You are absolutely nuts. I do not know what you're watching, because when I watch him, he is so typical of the players that we're producing. He doesn't move off the ball. He doesn't really tackle, right? He doesn't, his passing is limited. I'm like, what are we doing?
So the good news with him and another player that
he's young.
The three of us have been talking about, his only quality of hope is he's young. Is that what you're saying? And there's another.
No, he's really good on the ball, like the other player we're talking about, and you can mention him. He's really good on the ball. And if you are, this is what I think about these Twitter guys who talk about it, including some other podcast people who will not be named. They're just watching the ball.
Yeah.
If you just watch the ball, Sanchez is a great player.
So
if you watch him off the ball, not so much.
Yeah. So I want to explain this to the listeners. So Dave and Carmen are big Manchester United fans.
Gosh, no.
I watch EPL religiously. I've enjoyed watching Manchester United be competitive again, even though I'm not, a United faithful. Dave sent a text that Mainu sucks. And my comment, Carmen, was nobody can suck at, 17?
Yeah, he's like 20.
You said 2 things. Not only that, but you also said if he sucks so much, then they couldn't win.
Yeah, they couldn't win. And so you set me off in my own research to prove whether I'm right or wrong. So I
object to all of this, guys.
You wouldn't believe the amount of research I did in terms of watching Mainu.
Yep.
I've done is watch. All I do when I watch Manchester United is watch Mainu now.
Yeah.
I don't watch the ball.
Right.
And
which is a depressing thing to do.
I hate being wrong.
God.
As I watched the tape, I was flabbergasted at his uselessness.
Yes.
So the best quality that he's doing, Dave, to allow the rest of the players to achieve their best level is just kind of be out of their way and facilitate basic passes. Yep. He does nothing that's cutting the lines and in fact, this last game I watched, he actually gave up the ball multiple times with bad passes when he was trying to actually do anything that was like creatively forward. Going back is an embarrassment to watch for the coaches of Manchester United not to have a sit down with him and say, son, if you do this one more time and start meandering backwards and staring and not getting back, figuring out the danger, turning your hips and figuring out where the danger is. And there's so much danger around you. And don't worry about the buttons. That's just a random button.
That's a random button.
Not, we'll figure it out here to say, but oh my gosh, it was so painful. And it continues to be painful watching him.
And he never gets a tackle in. So he's out of position. He never gets a tackle in. He doesn't win the ball. And old man Casemiro, who, God bless him, he is old. And you were like, look, he's old and he sucks. And he's old.
I never said that.
Well, you kind of said he looks so old, like should he even be on the pitch? And I kind of agree with that, like because he's
getting there.
He's at the end, but he's still running circles around Mainu. Like he's in the right position all the time.
Well, everybody when Mainu is like, I can't even like describe the space that he is just meandering in the middle of the field.
It's so awful. And guys, I love Kobe Manu. Like, love him, which is why I went.
I did a terrible thing. Go ahead, Carmen.
It was awful. And Katz was like, no, I'm going to show you. So I literally went over to Katz's house and watched a half of soccer. And when I say, as much as I love Kobe Manu, love him. Like, if I had a kid, I'd want him to be Kobe Manu. He's like my kid's age. It was awful. Yeah. He looked just lost half the time.
Lost.
But it really did show. If you watch somebody off the ball, it's a whole different thing. They could be great with the ball at their feet, play a quick pass, but to watch them off the ball and they're not creating space, they're not taking the quick look over their shoulder and seeing where the danger, all of that, it's amazing.
None of it.
And scary.
Yeah. And so do you think there's a lack of doing that at professional soccer clubs, Dave, when looking at all the video that they have on their own assets to, and it's not that they someone like Manu or Sanchez can really use the advice, right? Of understand, be like, hey son, when you're drifting back into the box, let me show you. Like you're drifting back in the box. You should be 10 yards further back. Your hips should be turned, and you should be looking at that guy right there who's about to maybe get the ball.
Yeah, and here's the other thing that's so damning about Kobe Manu is he's standing next to one of the best positional players who's played defensive midfield in a long time.
Yeah.
And how he's not looking over there and being like, why am I not doing that? Yeah. Even if the coach isn't telling you, you would be like, oh, if I'm playing next to a guy like that, a legend, I would watch him and be like, okay, can I emulate?
And 3 of the game replays that I watched when he's jogging, the other team is in offensive attacking mode. He's jogging back in the center of the field, and there's a guy that's running off his blind side, and he doesn't swivel his head. He's got no clue of the danger behind him.
No idea.
That's racing behind his back.
No idea.
I was losing my mind. Okay.
And the other guy, I hate to say this, it's the other Twitter favorite. It's Jay Fortune. Yeah. Same thing.
You've been saying that for a while.
Good on the ball, not good off the ball. Because the guys just stand around waiting for the ball. And then they come to life when somebody gives them the ball. Yeah. But you cannot play soccer that way. You will never win at a high level.
He's heating up.
There it is.
He's on fire.
We did it. We talked some Manu. I feel better now.
Of course, my sons, they never chat. At least Troy. And Troy is now on the chat being like, it's the worst take on this podcast ever. Just watch with cats.
You need to go watch some tape.
Just watch the one player.
It is
and the same thing is if you watch Sanchez, God bless, it's the same thing. Now, Sanchez, I think he has a little energy to him.
I was going to say, he's got a Sanchez has gotten some yellow cards by putting in a tackle. I'll give him that.
Yeah. When it's around him, and Kobe Manu will occasionally do this too. He'll suddenly, when the ball is close to him, he'll come to life, and he looks like he's working really hard around the ball. And people are like, look at him. He's hounding the ball. But the rest of the time, he's just checked out. Like he's totally checked out.
Drifting. He's a drifter.
And he has no idea where he's supposed to be. He's not even drifting in a good spot.
No, he's not even drifting in a good spot.
Miranchuk knows how to drift in a good spot. Yes. He's getting open. Because the other thing is if you're not defending, you got to be getting open for when the ball turns over. Now let's go through him. And he doesn't do that, which is why he also doesn't get on the ball enough.
And so, you can naysay us all you want, but if you're scoring a bunch of goals doing that, when you have your little drifting moments, then I'll zip it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
then the other thing is if you show up in the box, you got to be able to show up in the box and finish. Well, Manu never shows up in the box.
Dude, he's nowhere near the box.
No. He stops. He hits like a force field.
He doesn't even come into the picture. I swear to God. Right. I am waiting for him to come into the picture.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, he was just there. Why is he not at the top of the box?
It feels like he has one of those dog collars on, and it zaps. And he gets to 25. Even when he runs towards the box, he hits the brakes.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, because he's a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
So that's fine, right? So if first of all, you got to take your moments, even as a defensive midfielder. And Casemiro is perfect about this. Casemiro scored 8-9 goals this year, which is crazy, mostly off of set pieces.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Amazing.
He's good on set pieces too. Kobe Mainu, you watch him on set pieces? Nothing. Anyway, but the other thing about it is that, like, if you're going to be a strictly defensive midfielder, and there are players like this, right? Then what you do is you don't just stop 25 yards outside of the goal, right? You then start looking around at when the ball is going to turn over. Where can I close it down? He does not do that. He just stands there.
So how would you compare? Let's get off Sanchez and go to Muyumba. What are his weaknesses and qualities, Dave?
Muyumba's also really good on the ball. His passing in little tight spaces is excellent. His ball control is pretty excellent. He really lacks. You rarely see Muyumba play a line splitting ball where he goes to the next level like a Miranchuk does all the time.
I don't feel like Muyumba's lost though. Like he's not drifting. He's active.
Not. He's active. He's not lost like Mainu is. No, but he completely fails to read the danger. Yeah. So he just runs around all the time, actively trying to go after the ball and has no sophistication to it. So if you do anything kind of sophisticated, he'll just chase the rabbit in front of him. Right. And he has anybody going behind him.
He's a workhorse.
Yeah. Yeah. And so to me, if you add that on top of a guy who's tactically in the right spots, like Sleaze was a little bit, like Jacob.
Because you're forcing the other players into mistakes.
Exactly, because then you have the really good player picking up the danger, and then the second guy has to be all action, and that's it. He could be really good. So he's like the second defensive midfielder would be great. So I've always said that when we go on the road in a tough game, playing Muyumba as a second defensive midfielder with a really tactically good one behind him is excellent. Yeah. And could Kobe Mainu be that? Maybe, if you had Casemiro doing all it by himself and then him doing it, but he doesn't do it. He's not nearly as active as Muyumba is. But Muyumba tactically is naive. I mean, and if you're relying on him to protect your back four, which to me is always reading the danger, finding the guy where the ball's going to end up, who's going to either play the killer pass or going to score from just outside the box, he ain't going to do it. Okay. He will not protect.
So who are your three midfielders if you're starting this Saturday against DC United?
So if I had my three midfielders, it would be Jacob, first of all, for sure, defensive midfield. Okay. I would have Miranchuk for sure, right? And then to me, I would probably, with like a DC United where we're at home on the front foot, I'd probably bring in Saba and have Almiron as another midfielder. So I would be really aggressive. I'd play with only one defensive midfielder and Jacob, stay at home all the time, and I'd have two guys in front of him, Miranchuk, and probably interchangeably Saba and Almiron, or Almiron with Saba out wide, whatever. You could play one of them as the front three and the other one as the extra midfielder. In a defensive mode, like if we were playing on the road like we did at San Jose, early and it was tough, then I would play Muyumba as another defensive midfielder in front of Jacob. But on the front foot at home against a DC United team that I think is not that good, I would just run him right off the field. Be like, Jacob, you're the guy. You stay at home. We got a back four that's good. They don't go flying up. We're going to defend mostly with five. Obviously, we hope that Almiron and Miranchuk sometimes come in and give a tackle. But
who's your back four?
My back four, to be honest with you, I'm really growing on Baez. I think he's good. Is he better than Amador? I don't know, but he's good. He's plenty good. So I have no problem.
Clearly, Tata has a preference for Baez, right?
Baez is a little bit stronger physically, and could potentially be maybe a better defender. And he gets forward. He's actually made some beautiful balls getting forward. So I actually think for a 23-year-old kid, he looks really good. I like Gregerson and I like Mihai, as the two center backs. And I would have Edwards at the right back, which would allow Jacob to play in the defensive midfield. Because I think Edwards is a far better defender than Hernandez. He's much pacier. He also gives you that on the backside, that pace to run somebody down, right? He's good going forward, gets in a good cross. Jacob did really well. He got forward and he scored.
Yeah.
Right. So, you're not going to complain about that. But I think to me, Jacob looks to me like really smart and a tactical guy. He should be in the middle of the park.
Okay. It was great to see Latte break the ice and get a goal right out of the gates for the win against
People
Philadelphia.
forget he had a beautiful assist in the previous game, too.
Yeah, he did. And it was the right play because he could have probably scored, but chose to lay it off.
He
for
squared the
Miranchuk.
ball.
Yeah, squared it to Miranchuk for a simple tap-in, basically.
That's right.
Yeah. It's very smart.
So he's starting to, it's clear that Tata is talking to him. And he has, what does he have the quality? He's pacey as heck.
He's pacey as heck. And part of my thing is it's like, man, he's putting in a lot of work and he almost should be putting in less work to just save it up.
He's not standing around.
He definitely doesn't stand around.
Mm-hmm.
But
although early in the season he was a little bit more, and I think Tata is on him. Do not stand around. Do not stand around.
But also, why is it that Tata can't figure out tactically how to get the ball out wide and play an early cross into that guy when he's in the box?
That early ball,
we haven't
the
seen
old
that.
Gressel ball.
Yeah, well, there's no Gressel
Where
ball.
he just put it out in front,
I mean,
but they're learning. They actually, under Dyla, there was a moment last year where I thought they were learning, where Almiron and Miranchuk were like, look, sometimes you get the ball and just flip it over the top because he's gone. He's that fast. And they're learning. Yeah. They're absolutely learning.
But I feel like the opportunities now for Latte are more of the more direct ball in behind in a very straight pattern, like the way he scored that goal, versus, what he's clearly good at is getting up and getting a header. And we're not seeing that in terms of opportunities.
That's true. But the guys who have been on the ball to deliver that quick strike in the midfield, like to get him off, right, have been Muyumba and Sanchez. And he's not going to do it.
Yeah, but out wide, right, we've got, Almiron can deliver across. Mm-hmm. Saba can deliver across.
I love both outside backs can deliver across, for sure.
So
Baez can deliver a ball.
There's no lack of, and Amador is clearly somebody who can deliver.
Amador can deliver a terrific ball.
So I don't understand why that can't be a part of the blend that's yet to happen in terms of.
The people on the podcast other side must be losing their mind because, of course, I'm not thinking. So the guy who would start, not Saba, it should be Galarza. Galarza's been terrific in his two appearances. He looks like the ball-winning box-to-box guy who can play the early ball. So my center midfielder would be Jacob, Galarza, and Miranchuk, and then the front three would still
I was going to say we were missing somebody.
Yeah.
I was doing the math in my head. I was like, we're missing someone.
Almiron, Latte.
I failed you on that, but I was just saying I'm a little fatigued from the long day.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to be the one. I was like, Dave, we're talking about three in the midfield. I was like, we got three in front of them. I was like, this math isn't working for me, but whatever.
So I would have Galarza, and then the front line I would have Saba.
Well, let's talk a little
Latte.
Galarza.
Galarza looks legit. The movement.
He looked better that first game, to be honest, I thought.
Well, the first game he came on with 30 minutes to go. He was super fresh, and everybody else was tired.
Yeah.
The second game is his first time going from the start, so we give him a little bit. I still thought he looked.
Yeah, he looked good.
He is if you look at against Sanchez, movement is better. His ball making ability is better. So again,
if we can have
tackling is better.
If we can have Jacob behind him,
is
what you're saying.
Yep.
And then Galarza and Miranchuk in the middle,
center midfield.
Saba, Latte, and Almiron as the top three. That's sorry for the fumble there, people, but that's what I was thinking too. And Galarza, because he's so new, was not a name that came flying out. And then we're saying maybe Matt Edwards is the right back, right? Is that what you're thinking?
Absolutely.
And then the rest of it fills in as.
And then in a defensive, if there's some times when you want to play more defensive, you can bring Muyumba on, push Miranchuk up, and Saba comes off the bench. That's fine.
Yeah.
So that's a more defensive, stronger middle, right? Because then you have Galarza, Muyumba, and Jacob, who are all true center midfielders who are going to clog up the middle and can play little combinations. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
So Dave, we've kind of gone all over the place on this podcast. So what do you want to talk about? You want to talk more Philadelphia? You want to talk more about what you think we should do against DC United to move forward as a club? and your optimism, which is MLS is a long season.
It's a marathon, not a sprint, and everybody makes the playoffs. So,
except us last year, apparently.
Yeah,
well,
but
because
everyone makes the
wouldn't spoon
playoffs,
back.
but your odds go way up when you're in the top 4.
Sure,
That's
absolutely.
accurate.
So you want to and have predicted.
I mean,
that
I
we'd
think
be in the
that
top
the
4.
first move has got to be for us to solidify ourselves in the top 6 or 7. Don't be in the conversation for that one-off, 8-9 game or whatever. Don't do that, and then push on from there. See how far you go. Right? If we in 6th, 7th place by mid-season and we're playing much better, then you have a chance to push on and end up
But
fourth.
let's be honest, Carmen, with Dave here. If we lose to DC United at home,
We're not losing to DC United. No.
this is what I'm getting. But if we do, does your heart change a little bit? Because we should not lose to DC United this Saturday.
No, we shouldn't. Now, one thing I will say, I am not sure that Tata really realizes how poor Baracol is. He got bailed out a little bit because Baracol was injured, didn't even make the bench, and then Gregerson played. I'm not sure that if Baracol is available, that he doesn't go straight into the lineup again. I'm not sure Tata realizes that. I'm going to criticize him because that's what I would have said against Dyla. I would be like, he doesn't have a clue, and until Tata shows it,
My gosh, I mean, I thought Gregerson, like you could see it.
it's way better.
Right from the stands. He was an authority. I mean, especially coming back his first game.
Right.
Well, it also allows Mihaj and other players on the outside to be more aggressive because he's got the pace to recover.
Yeah.
Like the one that Baracol got run by, if Gregerson had been even next to Baracol, he would have run him down, right? So,
Yeah, I thought Gregerson looked really good last
way
Saturday.
better.
He did.
Way
I thought so.
better.
Yeah.
I mean, we were a little bit fortunate. I mean, I think so. The very first 10 minutes or so, they were on the front foot. Then we dominated the whole rest of the first half. We gave up the penalty kick, and it was a weak penalty kick. Baez kind of open hand pushed him a little bit in the back of the head. It was a little frustrated, but
that was justice serves. That was,
and then it hit the post.
Yeah.
So that helped. But then we still gave up a bad howler late in the game to our old friend Bedoya, who's 40 years old, right,
just
popping up in the
kicked
box.
field goal.
Oh my gosh.
And at the back post with nobody looking.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, we were playing with 5 in the back, and he's still standing wide open at the back post. Now you say, look, we made all those defensive subs, but like, why make all those defensive subs unless you have somebody to close them down? It's not.
Right.
It doesn't bode well.
Yeah.
And it was on Jacob's side, right? He should have at that point, no, I don't need anything in the middle. We got three center backs, so I need to be doing it. So it was the guy who came from midfield, Bedoya, he was way out wide, and then he came and he kind of hit and got in there. But Jacob never turned and looked, which is another reason why I think he's not a right back.
Okay.
Doesn't look to me like a right back. I think if that's Edwards, he's on him. That's what I think.
All right.
Because he's been taught to do that. He's played right back consistently. He knows how to mark a guy.
You skirted my question though. If we lose to DC United, what is your outlook on the season? You're just gonna be statistically strong and Tata like I find that an unacceptable answer if we lose to DC United.
It's midfield. No, you can't say any one game. So first of all, it depends on how you lose, right? So if we play really well and we lose on some fluke or whatever, that's very different than if we just get run off the field. So that's one thing. But I said it, and I said it with Dyla. I say it with Tata. I say it even more with Tata because I think he's a much better coach. I am not going to really start judging an evaluation till middle of the season. If we get to middle of the season and we're still losing 3 out of 4 games and it's very Dyla-esque, that's going to be way different. I think, to me, the team has looked already offensively. The movement, the pace, the counterattacking has looked worlds better.
Okay. So to simplify the time on here, since I'm going to try to give us 15, 20 minutes to wrap this sucker up.
Okay.
We're
on the clock.
I got it.
The predictions that you had about the East and what you've watched, I don't know if you've watched many of the other teams.
I have some. Yeah.
What has surprised you? Like, what are the outliers in terms of maybe what your initial thoughts were in terms of either talent or coaching or optimism for teams in the East?
The one who's really surprised me is New York City FC.
Okay. They're at the top of the table, right?
Yeah, well, their coach, obviously, I didn't know that much about him, and he did really well last year. He was like, they were fifth, and I didn't think.
I think I remember you saying that during the thing. You did.
I was high on his coach as a coach based on the one season, and he looks to me like he can still coach, or at least can take advantage of the Yankee Stadium bandbox. So they've been really surprised high. I have been super correct about I thought Philadelphia would be awful
because they lost all their defenders, right?
Yeah. Well, they lost all their attackers and their defenders. Yeah. They lost their two leading scorers and their two best defenders. Yep. That is not a recipe for winning.
Not good.
So that's also why I'm like, should we take a lot out of the Philadelphia win? I mean, that team's terrible, right?
I think they are. I think they are going to be terrible. But there's a lot of not so good teams that we're going to play, including DC United.
Okay. DC United's like fifth on the table right now.
Yeah, they've done pretty well, but they've been real fortunate. They've had a red card that they won by. Okay. I think they're not legit.
Okay.
It is very early. The other team that's been really, really surprising, and I thought maybe because we know nothing about it, right? So Red Bulls with Bradley as the coach. I said, look, they have a really talented team and a super young back line. And I said, if he can actually marshal the back line and get them to defend, they're going to be great. Now, if you look at them, right, they've scored 4 goals in 4 games. They've given up 5, right? But they've got 2-1-1 as a start under Bradley, which is good. I said Nashville I thought was going to be really excellent. They have been. I had them as finishing 3rd. Inter Miami I have as winning. They haven't been spectacular to start, but they're 2-1-1. The other one that's been really caught up in the CONCACAF Champions League I think has really hurt them is Cincinnati. Cincinnati is nowhere to be found, right? They're in 11th, and I have them finishing 2nd. And, every once in a while, there's a team that suddenly goes for it in, quote unquote, Europe, which is in our case, CONCACAF, and it all falls apart.
Yeah, I mean, that is crazy to think of. So Cincinnati was our season opener loss, right?
Yeah, that's their only win.
And they're below us on the table, or tied with us, basically, for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, surprising. So that's been a big surprise. I also said, everybody says, I'm surprised Columbus, right? I had Columbus as being really bad, and I think they are bad, and they're going to be bad. Now, I would say Orlando I had as not being good. I had them as 9th, and I said their team is terrible, but Oscar Pareja will find a way. Now that he's gone, Orlando City, you might as well throw them in the tank. So that's a difference.
Yeah. What happened there? You said he left?
It sounded like he was like
mutual parting ways.
It sounded like Oscar was like, "See you later."
See ya. Like, look, if you just make me coach terrible players again, what am I supposed to do?
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. So, do you want to talk a little bit about the U.S. men's national team March camp?
Sure.
So we got a Belgian and Portugal friendly coming up, right?
Sure. Yes, we and they're both in Atlanta, so they are training in the new training center in Atlanta, I believe.
I don't know if I told you I'm going to the Portugal game.
Me too.
How are you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Is that in our seats or different seats?
Different seats.
Okay, same here.
So I will be there. I will be at both games. I will be at the Belgian game and the Portugal game.
What's going on in the U.S. sector?
So the roster came out, and this is the last international break before the World Cup. So this is like close. Now there's a couple of players who are clearly going to be there who they're just not trying to push too hard, like Tyler Adams, for sure. He's going to be, a key clog. So goalkeepers, Chris Brady from Chicago. I'm like, why are we looking at him so late? Celentano, I think, from Cincinnati, I said I thought was legit.
What goalkeeper did they bring in?
Yeah, I've never heard of this
Chris
dude.
Brady from Chicago Fire.
Why do you think that Poch hates Turner and Stefan so much?
Well, Turner's in the squad, too. and Freese. So Freese has been the starter.
I know, but he hasn't even given Turner a 1
I
second.
miss Zach Turner. Yeah, I liked him. No.
Well, Turner, I think the reason why I wasn't giving a second is because he wasn't playing very much for his club, and I think he's always like, you got to be playing. But now he's playing every game for New England. They're terrible, but he's playing.
Yeah.
So Turner, Freese, Celentano. I think Celentano is a dark horse, to make the squad. I think he could. I like him a lot. Defenders. Max Arston from Columbus Crew. I don't know why, again, we're looking at him so late. Alex Freeman, who I think is terrific for Villarreal. Mark McKenzie from Toulouse, makes sense. Tim Ream still holding on to his spot as an old man. Chris Richards, who's now healthy. Awesome. Who I think should start.
Think Potts likes Arston.
Yeah, he does.
Same as he likes Berhalter. Because of their energy and their spirit.
Chris Richards, Jedi Robinson. Miles Robinson.
Jedi is back and healthy. It's great to see. Same with Tyler Adams, looking good.
Yeah.
And Chris Richards. Yeah.
Chris Richards. So that's the key. Joe Scally from Borussia Mönchengladbach. And Austin Trusty, who plays for Celtic. Those are the defenders. That's clearly our weakness. Midfielders. Sebastian Berhalter, as you just said. Johnny Cardoza, who is starting for Atletico Madrid. We'll get back to him in a minute. Amazing. Weston McKennie starts for Juventus. Aidan Morris starts for Middlesbrough. Gio Reyna starts for Borussia Mönchengladbach.
So Reyna's in the March squad?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Christian Roldan.
He was in the last one too, correct?
No, I think he was injured. He's been injured.
I'm pretty sure he was. Maybe. Yeah, I think. Well, he's in one of the last two. He was definitely in because I know he scored. He was a difference maker. I'm pretty sure it was the last one. Maybe I'm wrong.
That sounds right.
I think it sounds right.
Tanner Tessman from Olympique Lyon. Malik Tillman from Leverkusen. Okay. And then the forwards, Brendan Aronson from Leeds. Patrick Ajeman from Derby. Balogun, who's been amazing for Monaco. Ricardo Pepi for PSV, Christian Pulisic from AC Milan, Tim Weah from Olympique Marseille. That's the squad.
No Musa?
No Musa. So, here's my take.
So Musa's out. At this point, we haven't seen him in a single camp. He's
and I'm shocked because I think he's legit.
And no, it was Weston McKennie in this camp?
Weston McKennie's in the camp, yeah.
Okay.
So
his buddy Musa left out dangling.
Yeah, I mean he plays. I mean, he doesn't start, but he's getting some minutes. He plays for Atalanta in Serie A.
Oh, he shifted from Juventus to Atalanta.
Yeah.
Okay.
They loaned him out to Atalanta. Anyway, what I wrote to you guys is I thought this is the best U.S. roster, the most in its prime U.S. roster ever playing at home with a good coach.
Okay, hit us with some facts and ages.
Which is stunning.
Let's do it.
So the goalkeeper's a question. I thought it was between Freese, Turner, Celentano, Schulte, and Steffen. Schulte and Steffen were the surprises not being included, but I think the goalkeeping will be fine. The other one who he's holding out, who's clearly going to be in the squad, who just trying to rest, is Serginho Dest. Doesn't want to overdo him coming back from all the injury. So he's giving Tyler Adams and he's giving Serginho Dest, I think, off because they are, they're just coming back from a lot of injuries. Yeah. Doesn't want to overtax them. I think that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
So the outside backs, to me, the starters should be Dest and Robinson.
Correct, 1,000%.
So Dest is 25, Robinson is 28. Prime. Center backs, in my opinion, I'm admittedly a little bit biased, but I think that Miles Robinson should start, 20 years old from 100%. Cincinnati.
I think there's no question about it.
He's been terrific. And then Chris Richards, 25 years old from Crystal Palace.
That's a power duo, honestly.
They're pacey. They're strong in the air. They're good one-on-one. They read the game.
And they have, they have all of that. Yeah. And they kind of have, especially Miles Robinson, his first World Cup, right? Because he missed the last one due to injury.
Right. Yeah, that's
He's going to be so pumped up, man. Yep. I think it's going to be
28 years old, super in his prime.
Yeah, so in his prime. What about Tim Ream? Are you saying he's not in his prime at age?
No,
what is he?
I mean, Tim Ream's a good
38.
He's a good plug for certain games. I think.
Yeah,
we'll need a certain.
I love Tim Ream coming along, and so Tim Ream is 38. I think, and I'll get to it in a minute. I might not take. Tim Ream is a good veteran presence. I might take him along. I like Tristan Blackman for Vancouver, who's had an amazing year last year at 29.
I'm not I'm not sold on him either.
Backup.
Tim Ream is so good on the ball. Like he's such a vulnerability in terms of getting just burnt, given his speed, but. Man, talk about somebody, if you're playing out of the back, you give it to him on the foot, like he's going to make really good decisions. Mm-hmm. That's invaluable during a World Cup game.
Yeah. But we
can get run back.
I think we can go back to the tape, but at some point we said if Tim Ream is on our next World Cup team, there is something seriously wrong.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's what Dave and I are saying. We don't need him as a starter.
I think if he was starting.
On
the team, I don't mind.
Chris Richards and Miles Robinson are... I feel very...
I love Tim Ream coming in even the last 7 minutes, smart, finding the guy, closing off a game, too, for sure.
That's true.
I'll sleep tight with Richards and Miles Robinson.
Yeah, so Richards at Crystal Palace. So defensive midfield, Tyler Adams from Bournemouth. I mean, if he is fit, to me, he's the best. And the backup would be Tanner Tessman, so Adams is 27 prime. Tessman 24 starts at Lyon prime. And then the attacking midfield, to me, Weston McKennie, obviously 27 prime, starting at Juventus. And Johnny Cardosa, 24 years old, starting at Atletico Madrid for Diego Simeone,
who even our boy, why am I blanking? Help me out, Atlanta United players not even starting there at Atletico.
Barco.
No, Almada.
Almada doesn't start. Yes. Yeah. Johnny Cardosa starts over Almada.
Okay.
Think about that. That's some. I mean, Almada is a guy who's probably going to be on the Argentinian squad and probably get real minutes.
Yep, for sure. And then the front three, to me, Tim Weah, at 26 years old, playing for Marseille.
So you're going to pull a red card and David Beckham moment in the World Cup, where he just got that out of his system in the Copa America?
Please say it's out of his system.
I think it's out of his system.
Okay, I think so too. I love Tim Weah.
Balogun, who's still only 24 years old at
Monaco. Is that right?
Super in his prime.
He's a baby.
And Pulisic, still only 27 years old at AC Milan.
Yeah.
So my starting lineup, outside backs, 25 years old, 28. Center backs, 28, 25. Defensive midfielder, 27. Attacking midfielders, 27, 24. Front line, 26, 24, 27.
Yeah.
I mean.
Okay.
Dude. And all starting at major clubs. Maybe you give the exception to the one MLS player who I have in my starting lineup, Miles Robinson. But he's playing at a very good Cincinnati team. He's the star in the MLS. And then the bench. Our bench.
Talk about it.
So Gio Reyna, I think, is a great wild card. Can we do some things? He's still only 23 years old. Plays at Borussia Mönchengladbach. Patrick Egeman, who is doing really well, scoring goals in the championship for Derby, 25. Ricardo Pepi as the backup striker, still only 23.
Oh, I would have thought he was much older.
Yeah. Brendan Aronson, the all guy who comes in late in the game. Awesome. 25 years old.
I was about what I was like, what is he, 25? 25, yeah. Still only 25. He's a little kid.
12.
The reason why I think you're not yet seeing Yunus Musa, because Yunus Musa, how old is Yunus Musa? You want to guess?
23.
8. No. 8. I'll go 28.
23. That's still super young.
He's a baby. All these people are babies.
Aiden Morris, who I think is a great guy in the midfield, box-to-box guy, 24 years old, starting at Middlesbrough. Yeah. Malik Tillman, great player, really active.
He's another wild card.
Scoring goals. You know how old
he's got
is?
his own like Gio Reyna qualities.
Yeah, a little bit. Could be that. You know how old he is?
I'm gonna go with 24.
He's 23.
Okay.
Mark McKenzie, the other bench defender, 27 years old from Chile, is still in his prime. The only guy who's not in his prime, Tim Ream, 38, who I would still take on the squad. Alex Freeman, the outside back, who's the backup, I think, to Serginho Dest, starting at Villarreal in Spain, and 21 years old.
Wow.
Starting in La Liga. Okay. Joe Scally, the other outside back.
Yeah.
Starting at Borussia Mönchengladbach in the Bundesliga, 23.
Yep.
So
I know.
all healthy, nobody injured.
So
all
as excited as Dave is, if you pick the top 4 teams in the world and then go through the same exercise, you get scared. So I am optimistic that we should be able to make it.
We're going to do that when our World Cup preview.
A quarterfinal. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, that's actually very optimistic for you, Mikey Duff. I feel like
semifinal.
And you're always been semifinal.
Look,
yes.
Semifinal.
I think, look, as someone who, like, there's a lot of games to get to
Obviously,
the quarterfinal.
depends on the draw, of course.
Depends on the draw. But, like, there's so, like, it gets so hard as soon as you get into the knockouts. So
there's not too many. There's a couple teams that scare me, but not too many.
So
I mean, France scares me. France.
Okay.
Holland, Argentina, Brazil.
Brazil's pretty scary. I would put them as the other team that really scares me.
Italy, if they make it. Like, I'm being dead serious, man.
We're gonna go through the squads though. We're gonna do a deep dive before the World Cup, and what we're gonna do
Morocco,
is go through the starting lineup, projected starting lineups, and the squad, and say, where are they playing? I think you're gonna be floored that actually our U.S. national team now, with the clubs they're playing at, holds up pretty well. With the exception of probably the top 2 or 3 or maybe 4, but would be right there in terms of quality. And we're all in their prime. And that's not going to be true for these other clubs.
I love the fact that we've got some guys in their prime, but I just do not think we have the same pedigree that some of these other nations have.
I think you're going to be surprised.
All right.
I mean, look.
We're going to do it. Not now because it's a little too early.
I don't think I'll be surprised. I mean, I'll be cheering them on, and I'll be the biggest fanboy ever.
No, I mean, I think you're going to be surprised at. You think these World Cup rosters, you just naturally think everybody on Brazil plays for Real Madrid and Barcelona, and they don't, and that's what I think you're going to be surprised about.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to be surprised by that. I think just the overall pedigree of the depth that some of these teams have across even Europe is way
and
deeper.
Brazil has an amazing coach.
Yeah.
But I think, have a really excellent coach.
I think it's the depth. And I know you talked about our bench, and there was some exciting depth there.
Some good players on our bench.
Yeah.
But I just think when you stack up the depth of some of the other top 4 or 5 teams, which is what it takes to get to the semifinal, is you got to make it through that gauntlet.
Sure.
It's tough sledding.
And keep in mind,
There's
we're
so
playing at home.
Keep in mind,
We are.
I think that's a huge advantage
yeah.
for getting out of the group, and
that does 2 things. One is that you're home and it's your home culture and your home fans rooting for you. But the other thing that's so unique about a World Cup in the U.S. is these players are not used to flying the amount of you have to do in the World Cup in the U.S., whereas the American players are like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Been doing this my whole life.
Yeah. All right. How important do you think these upcoming games in Atlanta are? Anything
I think they're our last 2 warm-ups,
Yeah.
so it's everything. We're playing 2 World Cup teams, Belgium and Portugal.
So if we look like crap, does that mean we are crap?
Yeah, it's not so good if we look like crap. But I'm expecting us to look really good in these 2 games.
Okay.
We have been, if you look at the Pochettino right? We went through the period where he had this whole battle for the hearts and minds and soul of the team, and he won that battle, and he came out, and I think he got the buy-in, and now they're tactically playing much better. They're playing with a lot of confidence. I think you're going to see an excellent performance.
Yeah. Okay. Are we going to see a 38, 39-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo in Atlanta?
Yeah. No, he's hurt.
Okay.
He will not play. He hopes to make it back for the World Cup, but he will not play here in Atlanta.
Okay.
No, boo.
Yeah. All right.
And of course, Iran is threatening to pull out because they're mad at us for some reason.
Yeah. I thought Trump said they shouldn't play, that they couldn't play or whatever.
I think it's so crazy that they're threatening to pull out. You're like, dude, would you even think about sending your team to America? Like, what?
I don't know.
It's really weird.
So who do you think is going to win the World Cup?
I think we need to save that for.
Let's save that.
Let's save that for our preview where we really see, because there's so much can change now. I mean, I know we're not that far away because the opening match is beginning in June, right? But we're still in the early March. Right. Yeah. So April and May at the end of a long European season, the question is who is healthy, right? And who, because.
Yeah, and Italy hasn't qualified yet, so we don't know if they're
we're one, we're a couple injuries away from being not even close to the same squad that we are, right? If you lose Pulisic and you lose McKennie and you lose Tyler Adams, you're like, it's not the same team.
Yeah.
So will the World Cup affect? I'm sure Messi's going to be like, I'm not playing for a while because I'm not trying to get hurt. But do you think it's going to affect MLS, since we're talking MLS? Do you think it's going to affect
MLS is going to take a break
right.
for the World Cup.
But not in terms of people trying to sit out to make sure they're healthy for the World Cup or anything like that?
I don't think so because, so the incentive. So if you're Messi or whatever, right, the thing about the MLS team is, so first of all, you're here. So you're playing in America. You're used to playing in America. But the other thing that's so unique is that MLS is literally just hitting mid-season when the players are in their best form, when the World Cup break happens. So you're not talking about you really ought to think about, a player like him would think about resting after a long European season. Could he do a long European season and then extend it for the World Cup? But here, he's going to be 12, 14 games in, whatever it is.
Right.
And
he's ramping up still.
They always rest him a little bit to keep him fresh, but he should be right in mid-season prime form.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I don't think the MLS players are going to do much of anything. I think you'll see them playing right up until the start.
Okay.
Now, what will happen? Will those players see a dip in form after they come back from the World Cup? Absolutely. Some of them will be fried.
Gotcha.
And I think you would expect Miami to rest Messi for a fair amount after the World Cup to try to have him ready for the playoffs.
All right. I'm going to wrap it up with predictions for DC United versus Atlanta on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. kickoff?
Yep.
Mercedes-Benz, be there.
Yep.
Carmen, you're gonna come join us? Dave?
Probably, yeah. Why not?
Yeah,
if nobody else takes the tickets, why not?
Yeah, we're gonna have a power crew at the game. It's gonna be fun.
Gonna be epic.
So, what is the score, Carmen? What's your score?
I am gonna go another 3-1 for us.
Like it, Dobbs.
I'm gonna go with what it should be, not what it will be. I think it should be 4-0.
Whoa. That's aggressive.
An actual shutout. No goal scored against us.
It should be a shutout.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry. We need to start showing our dominance.
I was going to take 3-1 probably, but just to be a little different, I'll take 2-1. I was going to go on the lower side of a 3-1, so 2-1. Okay. So I think we're all predicting a win, though.
All predicting a win.
That's good.
A win's a win. Yeah.
I'll take it.
If they win 2-1, I'll take it. A win.
I will definitely
just win.
I will take a win. I'm so
especially if you score more than one goal.
I'm so exhausted of not being.
You don't want to win 1-0. I mean, 1-0. We'll take it, but you want to continue. Yeah. The offense is starting to get.
What's
going.
the goal differential between the first 4 games here? It's not good, even with our
goal differential.
Yeah, Carmen, what do we got here?
Carmen, you scroll down. We are 5 goals for and 8 against.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. See what I'm saying? That's why
But we've scored all 5 of those goals in the last 2 games at home.
I know we have. That's why I need 4 more this Saturday.
So it's looked way better at home.
Got to straighten this out. Got to straighten that table out.
The remarkable thing about Tata the first time around is his record on the road was exactly the same as his record at home.
Yeah. Also, I want to say, let's end on this with Miguel Almiron, who was the MVP of the last game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he had all 3 assists, right?
Yeah, he was all 3 assists. Was all over the place. Why do you think that is, Dave?
Because he's good.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, that's good because we were wondering for a little bit.
I've said he's been good the whole time.
Some people claim he's here nostalgically with Tata.
Right.
He's lost it.
Right.
He's lazy getting back.
Right.
I just don't buy any of that crap.
No.
Like, if you don't know anything about soccer, if you don't look at Miguel Almiron and be like, that guy still knows how to play.
And the problem he's had under the Dyla era is, like, he would do all that stuff and then he wouldn't have the people to combine with in the final moments. Now, especially in the counterattack, there are options, and you've seen it. He can find the guy. Yeah. And the more there are options all the time, the better his decision-making get. If you expect a player to get one of those opportunities a game and to make the perfect pass, you're nuts. You got to get them in a consistent way, and then they start doing it more often.
All right. Well, let's hope we see more of that this Saturday, 7:30, Mercedes-Benz.
Just like back in Guadalajara.
Just like back in Guadalajara. Just like back to Mercedes-Benz, we're going to start winning.
Do you know that he's playing in the USL? Danny Rojas.
Is he really?
What?
Yes. Danny Rojas. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great week.
Bye.
Yeah, Danny Rojas is on a USL team.
Danny Rojas.